In the quiet corner of the multiverse where Soul's bar resides, where there's always an extra dimension or two to accommodate any visitor, the evening began with his usual blend of cosmic chatter and interstellar shenanigans. The door swung open, and a peculiar new guest entered, a tiny red black hole flickering with an unusual hue. The patrons, accustomed to bizarre sights, couldn't help but stare at the unexpected visitor. A rogue planet grumbled, "I almost thought it was a naked singularity again, but I've never seen this." With a hint of regret, he looked into his empty glass of gravity slingshot, which had kept him up to speed so far, and ordered a new one. Sol, the old white dwarf bartender, squinted at the new arrival. "Welcome, whatever you are," he said, trying to focus on the red-black hole. "What can I get you?" The red-black hole hovered to an empty spot at the counter. "Name's Colorus," it said in a surprisingly cheery tone. "Heard you serve some excellent drinks here. What do you recommend?" Sol, taken aback by Colorus's upbeat demeanor, chuckled. "You don't have a problem for us to solve?" Colorus laughed, a deep, resonant sound that seemed to vibrate the very fabric of space. "Nope, just looking for a good time. But if you have a special, I'll take it." Sol nodded, still bemused. "Sure thing. Let's start with a mixed pleasure." He grabbed a barrel labelled 618 and added a few drops of its rich essence to the mix. Then he combined it with a splash of fresh universe expansion, a shimmering liquid that captured the vitality of a new cosmos. With a flourish, he mixed the drink and slid it over to Colorus. As Colorus sipped, a nearby gas cloud, still unstable, couldn't resist asking, "So, Colorus, how can a black hole have color?" Colorus grinned, if a black hole could grin. "Well, it's all about the color charge from quantum chronodynamics. I was born in the early universe, before quarks had formed protons, so I ended up with more red than green or blue." An oscillating neutrino nearby, juggling 3 different cocktails, commented, "But aren't you worried about your size? With that kind of charge, you must be pretty small." Colorus shrugged. "I'm about 20 tons. Sure, I'll evaporate quickly, but I've already outlived my expected time by 100,000 times. I'm happy with my lifespan." The neutrino, intrigued, mused, "That's impressive. I guess it's all relative. I'm used to being practically invisible myself." The bar patrons chuckled, enjoying the absurdity. Colorus continued to deflect their concerns with more jokes and insights about his nature. A massive red giant, its surface boiling with plasma, expressed concern. "But Colorus, you won't live long. Doesn't that bother you?" Colorus beamed with a kind of cosmic pride. "Not at all. I was born when the universe was 1/10,000th of a second old. I'll live for several more seconds. 100,000 times longer than the universe existed before I came into being. Not many can say that." The bar patrons were silent for a moment, processing this. Then Colorus added, "And when I do go, it'll be with a dazzling amount of emissions. It will alter a part of the universe, a tiny part that soon will expand to the size of the largest structures in the universe." This led to more joking about how small things can have big effects. A gas cloud chuckled. "Just like how a small difference in temperature can cause genes to become unstable." Another patron, a quasar, grinned. "Yeah, and now some concentrations of gas are slowly starting to glow. Must be his ideas about entanglement that got the better of him. He seems to think that the whole time and space depend on it." The bar erupted in laughter and cheers as Colorus continued to enjoy the night. As the evening drew to a close, Colorus floated towards the exit. Just before the door closed behind him, it could be seen that he held a glass of timeless pleasure and gave a big wink. Sol, with a twinkle in his eye, called out, "Any time, and if you ever need help with a cosmic dilemma, you know where to find us." The patrons cheered, raising their glasses in a toast. The universe had a way of keeping things interesting, but sometimes Everything went just as it should be.